32nd Infantry Daredevil Battalion traces its humble beginnings in Fort Magsaysay, Palayan City, the former home of 1st Infantry Tabak Division. It was initially organized as a provincial unit called the Camagong Battalion on 6 February 1974, pursuant to General Order Number 294, General Headquarters Armed Forces of the Philippines, dated 14 February 1974. Composed of several officers and enlisted personnel, a great number were mostly trainees. Major Arturo T. Enrile, then the incumbent commanding officer of Home Defense Training Unit of 1st Infantry Tabak Division, was designated as its officer in charge. Due to worsening situation in Mindanao, the unit was transformed into a regular battalion, effective 1 May 1974, pursuant to General Order Number 73, General Headquarters Armed Forces of the Philippines, dated 26 July 1974, under Lieutenant Colonel Rodolfo A. Cañeso as its 1st Battalion Commander. The battalion was deployed in Awang, Maguindanao on 1 August 1974. 32nd Infantry Battalion was then operationally attached to 1/3 Brigade, SEMCOM. The landing of the unit in its designated area of operation was welcomed with a non-stop day and night fighting, particularly in the areas of Solon, Libungan, Toreta, Tumbao Complex, Buldon, Pinaring, Pingkawayan, Carmen, Kabakan, Kapimpilan, Tikit, and Reina Regente, all of North Cotabato. It was then that the unit got its name Daredevil, with its reputation earned as a fightingest battalion and due to its operational expertise and readiness. The unit was transferred to Hulusulo on 1 August up to 26 October 1976 to confront the growing threat of the Southern Philippines secessionist group, wherein the unit displayed an unveiling courage and gallantry in action, with 481 encounters in span of 1 year and 5 months. The unit suffered 140 killed in action and 210 wounded in action, with 93 firearms lost as compared to 798 enemy killed and 339 assorted firearms recovered. Earning fame for being great warriors, the battalion became the striking force of the 1st Infantry Tabak Division, whereby the unit was transferred from one island to another to confront different threat groups in the islands of Sulu and Basilan, which became the regular battleground of the unit. With this, the unit earned a very remarkable achievement and received the following awards: CENTCOM Streamer Award in 1975 and the Presidential Streamer Award in 1976. 26 October 1976, for more than 2 years in the battlefield, the unit had undergone battalion retraining at Fort Magsaysay, Palayan City, Nueva Ecija, in order to refresh and reorganize its troops and equip them that shall enhance the unit's performance in every mission that it will undertake. On 20 June 1977, after less than a year of battalion retraining, the unit has once again been deployed in Basilan Sulu provinces, confronting SPSGs, until such time that the Daredevil Battalion has become Southcom's striking force in Sulu, Basilan, Zamboanga Peninsula on 25 May 1981 up to 1 October 1981. On 21 April 1985, the unit was redeployed to its new area of operation to address the CTPNP uprising in Zamboanga Peninsula and Misamis Occidental. The unit was placed OPCON to 1st Marine Brigade and assumed a huge part of the provinces of Zamboanga del Norte and Misamis Occidental as its area of operation. Being a combat experienced unit, its forces were distributed throughout the threatened and influenced barangays in its area of operation. From January 1986 to October 1996, the unit confronted and successfully neutralized Guerrilla Front Committee 1, BBC, Big Beautiful Country, and Front Committee Monte Rosa in Zamboanga del Norte and Misamis Occidental, which is composed of a large number of fully armed regulars. The unit was able to decimate the enemy's strength into a section size which significantly paralyzed its operational capabilities. Due to the worsening situation in Tripol SB, Sibuco, Sirawai, Shokan, and Baligian, brought by the Abu Sayyaf and other Muslim extremists, the unit was transferred in the later period of 1996 from its base from Inuman, Sindangan, Zamboanga del Norte with a specific mission to clear and neutralize the growing threat of the SPSGs, sowing destruction and chaos in the southern part of the 3rd District of Zamboanga del Norte, particularly Sibuco, Sirawai, Shokan, and Baliguan. It was then in Sirawai, Zamboanga del Norte that the initial battalion base was established. On 14 July 1999, the unit was redeployed in its former playground and placed OPCON to 603rd Brigade, 6th ID Philippine Army, and established battalion headquarters at Barangay Lutuan, Parang, Maguindanao, to beef up the government troops in Parang and Buldon, Maguindanao, confronting the MILF forces. However, one company was deployed to Tipo-Tipo, Basilan Province, and placed OPCON to 10th Infantry Battalion, 1st ID Philippine Army. For 7 years and 4 months of stay in Basilan Province, the unit was redeployed in Lanao del Norte on 28 January 2007 and established its battalion headquarters at Camp Alire Salvador, Lanao del Norte, confronting the MILF, lawless element, and communist terrorist movements. The unit was placed OPCON to join Task Force Kilat, 4th ID Philippine Army, from 23 July to 15 December 2007, and further placed under operational control to 104th Sultan Brigade, 1st Infantry Division, Philippine Army. On 27 August 2009, again the unit found itself docking at Lamitan Port when it was placed OPCON to join Task Force Trillium to augment the operating forces in Basilan Province, and further placed OPCON to 1st Marine Brigade and assumed responsibility over the municipalities of Maluso, Sumisip, and Tabuan Lasa, all of Basilan Province, as its new area of operation and confronting the Abu Sayyaf group. The battalion headquarters was established at Maluso, Basilan Province. On 17 November 2010, the unit was released from OPCON and subsequently placed under operational control to Special Operation Task Force Basilan, Special Operations Command, Philippine Army, and maintained its area of operation in Lamitan City, Akbar, Tuburan, Haji Muhammad Ajul, and some parts of Tipo-Tipo of the same province. The unit then established its battalion headquarters at Barangay Camp Uno, Basilan. Meanwhile, in the third quarter of the current year, the unit was programmed by higher headquarters to undergo the battalion training to be held at Headquarters 1st Infantry Tabak Division, Philippine Army, Kuta Major Cesar L. Sangan, Bulacan, Labangan, Zamboanga del Sur, and was released OPCON from JTF Basilan 104th Brigade and placed on non-operational status effective 22 July 2013. On 24 July 2013, the unit was transported from its present location in Campo Uno, Lamitan City, Basilan Province by sea aboard BRP Dagupan LC-551 to Pagadian City Port and arrived on 25 July 2013. On the 26th day of July 2013, Brigadier General Felicito Virgilio M. Trinidad Jr., Armed Forces of the Philippines, 1st Infantry Tabak Division Commander, formally opened a battalion retraining at Headquarters 1st Infantry Tabak Division Grandstand. However, due to the threat posed by the rogue MNLF elements in Zamboanga City, the venue of the battalion training was transferred to training facility of Camp General Arturo T. Enrile, Malaguray, Zamboanga City, on board the same Navy vessel that occurred on 27 July 2013. The unit has been designated as the Quick Reaction Battalion of Western Mindanao Command during its retraining in case of any atrocity may arise in Zamboanga City. On 6 December 2013, the battalion training of the unit was formally concluded. The unit assumed responsibility over the area of operation of 15th Infantry Battalion, covering the 5 municipalities of Lanao del Norte, as its new area of operation and under the operational control of 2nd Mechanized Infantry Brigade, Mechanized Infantry Division, Philippine Army. Meanwhile, on 19 February 2014, where the unit's present location in Barangay Upper Bagumbayan, Causwagan, Lanao del Norte, an energetic and young Lieutenant Colonel assumed command as the 26th commanding officer to this unit. Lieutenant Colonel Gregorio S. Nieveras, Infantry General Staff Corps, Philippine Army, was installed during the change of command ceremony presided by Major General Virgilio Felicito M. Trinidad Jr., Armed Forces of the Philippines, Commanding General of 1st Infantry Tabak Division, Philippine Army. With the unit's new leadership, Daredevil will continue to gain the momentum, remain steadfast in various entrusted tasks, and standing by to confront all threats. On 14 April 2014, being the 1st Division Quick Reaction Force, the unit was redeployed to cover the tri-boundaries of Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga del Norte, and Misamis Occidental. This includes the municipalities of Dumigang, Mahayag, Midsalip, and Suminot, all of Zamboanga del Sur, Serio, Osmeña, and 2 barangays of Katipunan, all of Zamboanga del Norte. during which the unit was tasked to degrade the armed capability of Western Mindanao Regional Party Committee. Then on 5 October 2014, by the virtue of Operational Directive 3-2014, Headquarters Western Mindanao Command, dated August 2014, and Implan Balikbayan of Headquarters Joint Task Force Zampilan, dated 28 August 2014. The unit once again redeployed in Sulu Province to be part of the reconfiguration of forces in Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi provinces to intensify the operations against the Abu Sayyaf group and other threat groups. On 14th of October 2014, the unit found itself landed in the unfulfilled land of promises, the Sulu province, where the unit temporarily established its battalion headquarters and Camp Budatu, Barangay Tagbak, Indanan, Sulu. The unit was immediately committed to conduct focused military operations in support to law enforcement operations under the operational control of Joint Task Group Sulu that contributed the release of some kidnapped victims, wherein the Abu Sayyaf group was splintered into small groups and scampered in different places. Nevertheless, with the unit's determination, the unit seized and discovered some ASG encampment at Barangay Buhanginan, Patikul, Sulu. On 22nd of January 2015, the unit was transferred and re-established its battalion headquarters at Barangay Bunbon, Patikul, Sulu, and assumed responsibility over some part of Patikul. In the 15th day of February 2016, another young, energetic Lieutenant Colonel assumed responsibility, whereby Lieutenant Colonel Ramon P. Flores, Infantry General Staff Corps, Philippine Army, installed as the 27th Battalion Commander during the conduct of change of command at Kuta General Teodolfo Bautista, Busbus, Hulu-Suluk. During that time, the unit addressing the four main threat groups in the AOR composed of MILF, RME, ASG, and the LLEs. In that time, the unit participated in a series of focused military operations and successfully conducted a total of 1,515 combat operations. The operations resulted to 12 tactical engagements with ASG. A total of 72 enemy personalities were neutralized, broken down into 36 killed in action, 30 wounded in action, and 6 apprehended. With the unit recovered of 11 assorted high-powered firearms and 2 low-powered firearms, to include the captured apprehended firearms. In 11 August 2017, due to war situation in Marawi City, the commanding officer of this unit tasked by the higher headquarters to lead the 63rd Infantry Battalion to restore the peace and order of the Marawi City. With that, Lieutenant Colonel Jarandi Abdullah, Infantry Philippine Army, Executive Officer of this unit, was tasked by the 1st Infantry Division to lead the unit. In the 40th day of February 2017, the young and energetic officer, Lieutenant Colonel Ronaldo Simateo, Infantry General Staff Corps, Philippine Army, assumed responsibility as the 29th Battalion Commander during the conduct of change of command ceremony at Headquarters 32nd Infantry Battalion, Barangay Bunbon, Patikul, Sulu. The unit gained momentum and unbeatable accomplishments, experiencing 18 major encounters. Said armed engagements resulted to 2 Kias and 48 Vias on the government side, while 46 body count and 18 Vias on the enemy side. Notable among these encounters was the death of one foreign kidnapped victim, a walled horn, and the cadaver of Radulan Sahiron's wife. In 20 November 2019, Lieutenant Colonel Ralph D.C. De Mesa, Infantry General Staff Corps, Philippine Army, was installed as the 30th commanding officer of this fightingest battalion. With the incredible combat expertise of Lieutenant Colonel De Mesa, he displayed courage and gallantry in action during his first encounter at Sitio Tambang Mosque, Barangay Kabuntakas, Patikul, Sulu, against more or less 40 fully armed ASG under ASG sub-leader Hatib Hajan sa Wadjaan on 26 November 2019, which resulted to 5 Vias on the government side, while 1 body count and 4 Via on the enemy side. On 07 December 2019, another encounter transpired in the same place of previous encounter with the same group of ASG. This encounter resulted in the recovery of 2 body counts with high-valued personalities, while the unit suffered 7 Vias and 1 Kia plus 3 Vias from the 12 DRC that was placed upcon to this unit. On 22 June 2020, While conducting focused military operation, the troops encountered more or less 40 fully armed ASG under Radulan sa Hiron and sub-leader Hatib Hadjan sa Wadjaan at Sitio Tubig Bukayon, Barangay Pensul Patico, Sulu, which resulted to the instantaneous death of the late First Ryan Lu G. Retener, then company commander of Alpha Assaulter Company, and 5 WIAs on the government side while 3 body counts on the enemy side. On 31 July 2020, while conducting route security, one section from Charlie Company led by Staff Sergeant Abdul Hakim H. Amirul Infantry Philippine Army encountered more or less 40 ASG members at vicinity Sitio Tangan-Tangan, Barangay Taung, Paticol, Sulu. The firefight, which lasted for about 40 minutes, resulted to 3 kiyas, namely Staff Sergeant Amirul, PFC Villatura, and PFC Sumili, with 3 WIAs on the government side while 3 body counts on the enemy side. And on 22 November 2021, Lieutenant Colonel Edward B. Viteño, Infantry General Staff Corps Philippine Army, was installed as the 31st Commanding Officer of this battalion. Lieutenant Colonel Viteño continuously conducted different ways of tactical approach in accomplishing unit's mandated mission. The unit commander also maintains the high level of skills and knowledge of operating troops through trainings and seminars during downtime. The morale and welfare of 32nd Infantry Battalion Daredevil troopers are being maintained to its high level through regular privilege of each personnel every quarter. Within the unit's 48 glorious years of existence, the Daredevil Battalion was commanded since 1974 by seasoned and remarkable senior officers, where the unit and its men have earned several honors, distinctions, and awards. Every commanding officer of this unit, one way or another, has accomplished any type of mission from combat to non-combat operations, any various tasks entrusted to the battalion. Each one of them have left a legacy which makes the Daredevil Battalion as it is today by giving the people a feeling of security in Western Mindanao area. Among others, the unit was the recipients of the following awards. Today, the 32nd Infantry Daredevil Battalion shall carry on to live up with the finest tradition of Filipino soldiery as one of the fightingest unit of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and shall continue to transform for development in serving the people and securing the land.